All right, testing, 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 testing. Hey everybody, what's going on? What's happening? It's your girl Tiffany coming through here live in effect. Live in effect. So thank you guys for coming through. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like my channel, hit the notification bell, share my channel, all that great stuff. All right. So today we're going to have a very interesting conversation here. All right. So this topic is going to be centered around: does Black Lives Matter or Black Capitalism matter? Which one matters the most in this case? Black Lives Matter or Black Capitalism? So I'm gonna be talking about the founder, one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter, BLM. They're back on the topic again. They back on the news. This time there's this whole tax bracket of regard to regard to the information about the founder or the co-founder. All right. So it's said to be that this woman been spending her money on her baby daddy. She done gave her baby daddy some money. She done gave some people some more money and all of that. I mean, she was giving large lump sum of cash, by the way. So you guys know previously in the news, Black Lives Matter done generated over $90 million. $90 million. And one of the members done took that money, took like $6 million of it and bought a damn ranch out in, was it somewhere out in Beverly Hills? And then bought another mansion. So yeah, they've been pocketing the money. They've been pocketing it. But yeah, this one's very intriguing. This woman took the money, gave some of it to her baby daddy, gave it some of it to her family member, gave it some of it to the people that's working. Now, this can become very problematic. And the way I am going to touch on it, all right, I'm not going to touch on it as the first person point of view. Okay, when I say first person point of view, that means I'm not just going to touch on it in my opinion. All right, I'm going to deal with it from the academic standpoint. All right, from a second person point of view. Okay, because I'm trying not to really. I'm trying not to use a first person pronoun in a sense. So, and I'm not trying to be, what's the word that I'm looking for? I'm trying not to be personalized with it. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to detach myself and my thoughts from it. But I'm just going to read it. And then I'm going to, talk about Black capitalism, because a lot of people don't believe that Black capitalism don't exist. All right. And also I'm going to share some reading materials that you guys should look into. Okay. So what I am going to do is, first and foremost, let's go into the subject about the founder. All right. So again, I'm gonna try not to come off as a first person point of view. All right. I'm gonna try to be as academic and as professional as possible. But I do have a lot of point of view around it. I have given my points. I have given my thoughts on it in the past when I first found out about what this organization was doing. But let's just read the article. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the article and then I'm gonna have a discussion based on the article. All right, so the first article is BLM co-founder Patrice Cullors says her mistakes with white guilt money were weaponized against her. Well, let's see what she's talking about here. Let's see exactly what she meant by that. Okay, so right here it says Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Cullors says that when $90 million in white guilt money came pouring into the organization coffers after the murder of George Floyd, the group had no infrastructure in place to handle the flood of cash, and now the mistakes made are being weaponized against her. It says, I'm a human being that has made mistakes, that want to change, want to challenge those mistakes, and want to learn from those mistakes. Cullors told the host of MSNBC Into America podcast Monday. And I think what's been hard is feeling like there isn't room and space for that. The beleaguered former executive director of the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation also addressed allegations that she had personally benefited from the donation by purchasing a home for herself, including a $6 million property in Los Angeles, which included a 7-bedroom mansion, a pool, a soundstage, and a garden. Okay, so that's a picture of her right here. All right. It says, this was an investment, she said. It's not my personal real estate. It's not Patrice Cullors' real estate. It's the organization real estate. And Cullors said the house was to be used as a media creation space for BLM and also as a safe house for activists. But she said the organization decided to stay mum about the true purpose of the mansion out of the fear that the right-wing media would jeopardize the safety of those associated with the movement. The minute we share the information with the public, the right-wing media would do what they always do, and they always did, she said, because the right-wing media doesn't have any sense or care for people's security or safety. All right. So it says Color interview was uploaded the same day it was reported by the Post that rapper and entrepreneur Damian Turner, the father of her youngest child, was paid almost 5 times the amount BLM paid to the Trayvon Martin Foundation. According to the group latest filing with the IRS, Kohler said Turner's company $969,459 for production, design, and media services in fiscal year 2020. An additional $840,000 went to a security company owned by Cullors' brother. So Cullors resigned from the organization a month after the Post revealed that she went on a $3.2 million real estate buying spree. Cullors denied that the money used to buy residential property in Georgia and California came from the charity, and those properties do not show up in the filing. All right. So it says Black Lives Matter was founded by Alicia Garcia and Alo Tamonti in 2013 as a charity honoring the memory of Martin, the unarmed black teen who was killed by George Zimmerman in 2012. So by 2020, Color was the only remaining co-founder still attached to the organization. After Floyd was murdered by Minneapolis cop Derek Chauvin, BLM found itself on the receiving end of $1 million in donation from individuals and companies eager to support the movement aimed at combating police brutality and racial discrimination. It was a major shock, Cullors said, of the sudden influx of cash. That was a lot of white guilt money. There's a lot of white folks being like, we just got to put the money. Cullors argued that BLM had no framework in place to deal with $90 million in donation and complained that the Black-led organization was held to a different set of standards. than non-profits led by white activists. Oh, and then down here it says, Color admits that she made a mistake by not drawing a salary from BLM, which blurred the lines in the eyes of the public between charity funds and her own. I should have taken a salary from Black Lives Matter because it would be less confusing for people, Color said, explaining that she opted against it because she did not plan to stay in the executive director's post for more than 2 years. She viewed it as her volunteer work. As news of the properties being bought by BLM began circulating, the charity's detractors on the right accused Colors of mishandling the money and using it for her own personal gain. Color fired back at her critics, led by conservative talk show host Candace Owens, for attacking her and the organization. Some of my mistakes are being weaponized against me and also the entire movement, she lamented, and that truly disappointing to see us fall into that as well. All right. So that's that article. Okay, so now let's analyze this for a moment. And I'm reading some of the comments. So shout out to Sister Julanda. She said she trying to create generational wealth. Okay, we'll talk about that in a moment. Now, there's multiple questions I have around this article. Okay, I'm just going to ask some questions. Exactly what do she mean by white guilt money? That's the first question I have to ask. White guilt money. What do she mean by that exactly? And then, two, my thing is, if she had no framework in place with $90 million in donation, I mean, so what you mean? What are you trying to say here? Are you saying that you didn't know what to do with $90 million in donation? I mean, there's a question that's sitting around. Let's just ask. You don't. If somebody is generating $90 million in their organization, right? And basically, just based off this article alone, this woman says she didn't really know what to do with the $90 million. So you're telling me that you generate all this money and you couldn't figure out what else, you didn't know what you want to do with the money? I mean, let's see, you had victims like the Martin family, Tamir Rice family. This is what I'm looking at. Tamir Rice family, Mike Brown's family, George Floyd family. Now, if you want to pocket some of that money, okay, that's on you. But some of that money could have been donated to these victim families. All right. Now I see where that the money was donated to the Trayvon Martin family, but what about the rest of them? What about the rest of the families? And then you want to know why Tamir Rice's mother, Tamir Rice's mother called out the organization such as Black Lives Matter and Tamika Mallory for their counter-revolutionary act. You want to know why she called them out. And she has a legitimate reason to do so. This is why. Because if you're raising $90 million and that money is not, and by the way, they got various branches of Black Lives Matter, okay? They got various branches of Black Lives Matter. And then like the one in Kentucky. They got one in Kentucky that's actually doing community work. So you're telling me that $90 million that you generated, that money cannot go into the pockets of those individuals, or it cannot go to help benefit those people in these branches that are doing actual work in the community. I mean, it's just very suspicious. And this is why my title is, Does Black Lives Matter, Or does black capitalism matter? Does black lives really matter, or is it black capitalism that matters the most? Because now we have to deal with the ugly truth. And I said that I wasn't going to do it as a first person point of view, but now I have to get to that, because after reading this article, it raised a lot of questions. What was her true intention? What was the true intention of this woman and many other in the organization? Was the true intention was to really raise up money to help benefit the community or benefit those who have been victim of police brutality, or was it a payday for them? And from what I just read, it was a payday for her. It was a payday. All right. So now, if you guys don't believe me, I'm gonna show another article. I'm gonna show another article. Okay. Let me. This one coming from Yahoo website. I hope you guys can still hear me. There's a reason why I got my microphone away from my mouth, because I don't. All right, so right here, this come from Yahoo News. It says Black Lives Matter paid nearly $4 million to board secretary, co-founder's brother, and father of her child. All right, so check this out. What it says, Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation dished out nearly $4 million in consulting payments to its board secretary, co-founder Patrice Cullors' brother, and the father of Cullors' child. So BLM Global Network, the movement's primary nonprofit, paid $2.1 million to Bowers Consulting, a firm run by Shalama Bowers, the foundation board secretary between July 2020 and June 2021. According to tax forms, the BLM Global Network Foundation provided to the Associated Press. And it says the nonprofit also pushed $1.8 million to individuals with close ties to Cullors, who stepped away from the group last year. Wait a minute, let me read that again. The nonprofit also pushed $1.8 million to individuals with close ties to Cullors, who stepped away from the group last year. All right, let me stop right there. So the question is, why did they step away from the group? Why did they step away from why did they decide to step away from the group? All right, hold on. Give me a second, Chauncey. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I had to put the article in there. But yeah, the question becomes, why did they step away from the group? Why did these people that was in it from the beginning stepped away from the group? Something is going on. But let's continue. It says Black Lives Matter had nearly $42 million in assets IRS documents. All right, and then once again, it goes back to saying $970,000 to Trap Hills LLC, a company established by Damian Turner, the father of Cullors' child. Again, $840,000 to Cullors Protection LLC, a security firm owned by her brother Paul Cullors, the tax form shows. All right. And of course, the $6 million mansion. And then, wait a minute, the Global Network hauled in $77 million in contribution during its 2021 fiscal year, and it ended it with $42 million in assets. The tax form showed it handed out $25 million in grants. Okay. All right then. Well, but you see it for yourself, right? I mean, if you guys want to read more into this, you see it for yourself. It just, for me, it's just a lot of red flags. It's a lot of red flags for me. It's a lot of red flags because if you don't raise questions like this, as far as the true intention of these organizations that identify themselves as charity organization, then you might fall into a trap. You may fall into a trap. You may become messed up. You may fall into a trap. Now, let's get into a discussion about black capitalism. Hold on. Let's get into the conversation about black capitalism. So, you know, a lot of people have a problem with the concept about black capitalism, right? And as they should. As they should. And people have a right to have their own problem. But check this out. Now, what is black capitalism? Black capitalism is a political movement among African Americans seeking to build wealth through the ownership and development of businesses. Black capitalism has traditionally focused on Black capitalism has traditionally focused on African American businesses, although some critics and activists have also pushed for increased representation of blacks in corporate America. All right. Now, let's go down and talk about the historical roots. Roots of black capitalism can be found in the lives of free Negroes during times of American enslavement. Many records exist reporting the development of economic wealth by these free Negroes. So it says the earliest recorded words touting the economic upliftment of African Americans by an African American was written by Lewis Woodson under the pen name Augustine in the Color American newspaper. Woodson helped founded the Wilberforce University and the first AME Theological Seminary, Payne Theological Seminary, and was an early teacher and mentor of Martin Delany. Wow, didn't know that. A prominent Southern affluent black was A.G. Gaston, who was at the time instrumental in the civil rights movement. Gaston was influenced by Booker T. Washington, who was an early leader at the Tuskegee Institute. Another wealthy African American was Robert Reed Church, who founded the nation's first black-owned bank, Solvent Saving, in 1906. Okay. All right, so now it goes down here to talk about the strains of black capitalism. Let's look at that. So there are two strains of black capitalism. The one focuses on success as a group, while the other one focuses on the success as an individual. Group success. One strain of black capitalism is immersed in the ethic of African Americans building wealth together, as exemplified in the Kwanzaa value of Ujamaa, meaning cooperative economics. The prominent proponent and example of this cooperative economics is Russell Simmons, who can be seen advocating the building of not only individual black businesses, but communities of black businesses, right? And then, I'm not going to go any further, but also it says a recent effort to standardize black capitalism as a movement was introduced in two books, Black Labor, White Wealth, and the more recent book, Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. In these two books, Dr. Anderson outlines a schema on which black wealth can be coordinated and developed through a 9-issue plan. All right, so now let's look at individual success. A parallel but possibly opposing strand of black capitalism stem from the American ideal of building individual wealth. Proponents, example of this can be popular figures such as Oprah Winfrey and Robert L. Johnson. The complaint level against the adherence of individual success from advocates of groups. Success is that individually wealthy African Americans have made millions of dollars, and that in and of itself has made very little contribution to the plight of African Americans in general. All right, so, and then it goes down talking about the issue of facing black capitalism. Um, the notion of racial integration is such that African Americans should be able to move and operate in a predominantly white society safely. This effort at racial integration concerns mostly public spaces and private hiring practices. It is thought that attempts and movements supporting racial integration are efforts to enable blacks to assimilate into white institutions. All right, so and then goes down and says black capitalism is an effort to position blacks as the owners of land, that the means of production, and businesses that own either or both. The aim of black capitalism is to boost the self-reliance both individually and communally. All right, so now let's get into this. All right, so let's talk about the pros and cons of black capitalism. So the pros of black capitalism, right, is that individuals can be able to make money and be able to start a business, right, generate profit. That's the pro. But the con is when you only have a selective of black people that's profiting and that has their own business, it doesn't benefit everybody as a whole. Okay? Now, I'm not going to get into too much of what I stand on my position about capitalism because I have an opposing position. I have an opposing position, and the reason for that is because if we study how capitalism came into existence in America, it all goes back to the concept of slavery. All right? So that's my opposing position. But, and you may wonder, well, what this got to do with what the subject is, because in this case, with this woman, right, with the co-founder of BLM, her main objective is black capitalizing. It's capitalism. It's not so much about let's just help the community and get the people together. She saw this as an opportunity for her to capitalize money. Now, think about this. If she had to give $970,000 to her baby father and give $860,000 to her brother company, that should show you something. She sees this as a business. It's more of a business thing to her than it is about charity. And this goes to show you that the concept of American dream is a total lie. Ain't no American dream. Because if you have to go above and beyond to do things like this in order to generate money and become wealthy, you know the American dream is a lie. So then you have to question yourself, what the hell is an American dream? What does it mean? What does that mean to have an American dream? Because she comes from a group of people. She comes from a group of people like us. But that's besides the point. I'm not saying that. See, this is why I don't like. I don't like when people, okay, if I'm talking about something, people always want to defer and say, well, white folks do it, this, that, and other. Okay, the argument is not whether other charity is doing it or not. It's not an argument whether white people are doing it or not. Okay, the argument is what is the true intention and purpose of it. The topic that is focused at hand. The topic that is focused at hand is, does black lives really matter, or is it black capitalism? All right. So if you can follow through, just hear me out. All right. Just hear me out. In this case, for her, it's more so of a business. Okay. Because, and if you look at it from where we come from, especially as people of color, as they like to call us, or African Americans, right? We come from we come from lack of generational wealth. Okay, we come from lack of profiting. So for her, she saw this as an opportunity to make to get paid, and many others saw it as opportunity of getting paid. Now we gotta be honest. She playing a dirty game. It is a dirty game, and it shows counter-revolutionary. It is what it is. That's counter-revolutionary act. But she see it as a business standpoint. So you can't tell me that this woman didn't pocket that money. You can't tell me that her first objective was to give money back to the community. That was not her first objective. Her first objective was to buy the things that she wanted, get the resources that she wanted, take care of the people of her family first, and then think about everybody else. So what I'm saying is Black Lives Matter has been used as a front to talk about Black issues, but behind the scene, it's more so about profiting. Now, again, I'm not against people making money, okay? We all got to make money. But at the same time, you got to be accountable for certain things too. And people have the right to question your legitimacy and your true intention. Now, if you was in it to make money, then that's something that should have been let it be known from on Front Street. But in this case, you had people believing that, you guys was really about helping the community. And the truth of the matter is, based on the sources, is not so much about giving back to the community. It's more so about taking care of your personal needs and your wants. It's about you running a business. And to say this, it's really sad that we have to go to the extent as a people because we don't have that much resources in our community. We don't have that much businesses in our community. So that's why you see a lot of religious organization, okay, or any other school of thoughts, because a lot of these people that identify themselves as leaders, all right, they make themselves the center of attention. So they looking at it as a way to aggrandize themselves. And how did they aggrandize themselves? They'll come up with this philosophical idea and a bunch of feel-good rhetoric to get people involved. So this has been going on for centuries, okay? It's been going on, not for centuries, it's been going on for decades. Even your favorite teacher, people like Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan, Noble Drew Ali, even some of the Pan-Africanists like Marcus Garvey. We all got to be honest. They were Black capitalists. They were Black capitalists first. They had some, Marcus Garvey had some great ideas, especially. They all had some good points. But at the end of the day, they were Black capitalists. The object of the game, okay, is money. The object of the game, when you have organization, whether you run a religious organization or whether you run a charity organization, political organization, the object of the game is money. Money is going to always be in the picture. So even those who may, all right, let me get comfortable. Even those who may send around their ideas, right? Even those who may come up with the idea about socialism. Socialism, yes, I'm for socialism. I stand on the principle of socialism. I believe that socialism will be a better thing for Black and African American community. But let's be honest. Let's be technical. That's only idealism. It's not going to be very practical in this country. It's not going to be very practical. It's not going to be very practical. Now, you can take some of the principle about socialism, but you're not going to be able to practice it in totality because the country that we live in do not operate under the concept of socialism. It does not operate under the concept of socialism. It's capitalism, or what I like to call structural capitalism. It is structural capitalism, meaning that it is being structured. All right. So even those who may have an idea about socialism, who may be for socialism, they still are capitalists at heart. They still capitalists because of the back, y'all. Yeah, I just got knocked out. But what was I saying? Okay, but yeah, at the end of the day, we all still are capitalists at heart, okay? Because of the type of economic system that we live under. All right. So, with that being said, no matter how we may feel, we might say, yeah, I'd rather have a socialist society, a communist society, etc., but we don't live in that type of society. All right. So because you may have the idea of it, but when it comes to pragmatism or being pragmatic, you're going to practice capitalism. You're going to follow capitalism rule. All right. And in her case, I'm not excusing what she's doing because I don't like the fact that, she profiting all this money and less of it going into the community. I don't like that she's doing that at all. But in her case, it sounds like to me that she's looking to live the so-called American dream. The so-called American dream, right? She buy this $6 million mansion and say that it's for the activists, which I don't believe that to be true. I mean, because if she would say that that's something that she bought for herself, and I say, okay, well, that's a different story. You say you bought it for yourself, but when you say that you bought a $6 million mansion and it's supposed to be for all the activists and whatnot, I don't believe that to be true. I just don't believe it to be true. But the whole thing is, this is her way of making money. This is her payday. And have you noticed that a lot of religious facility is in our community, like churches? You're gonna find a whole bunch of church, and you might find some masjid, but for the most part, you're gonna find a lot of church. Why do you think there's a lot of church in our community? And don't tell me it's about saving the people's soul and it's about God and all of that. No, it's about business because they know that they can get profit. They know that they can make a lot of money. If they talk about the concept of God, and let's be honest, they selling the concept of God to people. So when people come to church and they start giving tithings, right, which they say is 10%, but then they also giving offerings, that's how the preachers get paid. So they look at it like this, they get tax breaks. So when people have charities, they get tax breaks. When people have these organization, religious facility, that's tax breaks. That's a tax break for them. That's more money. So for us as black folks, when we talk about American dream, our American dream is either we gonna be scamming, we gonna be selling black marketing, right? Or create our own religious movement, or create our own charity movement. Because that's our American dream, because we don't have those generational wealth. We don't have enough resources. Now, maybe if we had a lot more businesses and we had a lot more facilities, we wouldn't have to worry about people doing a lot of these things, right? But we don't have that much. So this kind of behavior is expected. This kind of behavior is going to take place. And she's not the only one. Look at Tariq Nasheed. He's another one. He's a grifter. He done set up there and profit off of people with this FBA BS, right? And with this pseudo jumbo stuff that he was doing with the hidden colors and all of that shit, and got people raising money up for his museum. But the man is making money. And same way with Umar Johnson. I like Umar Johnson. I like the stuff that Umar Johnson say. But then there's a lot of red flags, and there's a lot of things that have to be questioned about his legitimacy. Are you actually putting money towards your building, or are you pocketing that money? What are you doing for those schools that you purchased in Delaware? Are you really taking the time out, putting more money into those schools and get somebody to do something about them, or are you pocketing those money? So a lot of people see this, if I run a charity, I can make money and I can be wealthy. Or if I run a religious organization and I call myself the God or the Messiah, etc., and put myself as the center of this, center of attention, I can make more money. So y'all may not like what I'm saying. For those of you that are in the chat, I get it. I understand that. But we have to come to the terms of reality that black capitalism does exist. And there are black capitalists. There are black capitalists out there. Now, some of them got good intentions, okay? And and there are those that had bad intention. There are those who got good intention. There are those who got bad intention. But they exist. They exist amongst us. Now, there's pros because some of them were able to start businesses and open up schools and things like that. But the con is it doesn't benefit everybody. Everybody's not going to benefit off of capitalism. That's the con. And I don't see us ever getting out of this economic system anytime soon. I don't see us ever changing this economic system around and making it into a socialist system or a communist system or democratic socialist or social democratic, whatever. I don't see us doing that anytime soon. And in order for that to happen, do you really want to know what that means? Do you know what that means in order for that to change? Do you know what that means? That means that you got to put yourself up for war. You got to go to war. Are you ready? Are you prepared to go to war? Are you prepared to go to war to change this economic system? Because now that means you playing with people's pocket. When you talking about, okay, let's get rid of capitalism, let's throw in socialism, communism, and all of that, and Marxism, are you prepared to go to war? Are you prepared to shed blood in this country? Are you prepared to lose your life in this country? Because if you're not prepared to put up that type of fight to change this economic system around, then there's no sense of saying, well, let's change and let's get rid of it. Because the only thing you can do is take some of the principles and use it for your own benefit. That's the only thing you can do. But you're not going to be able to change the entire system around unless you're willing to have an army of people to come together and put up a fight for it. Because I don't see it happening anytime soon. I don't see capitalism turning into socialism anytime soon. I don't see capitalism turning into communism or social democrat or democratic socialism or Marxism. I don't see it ever happening. Not in this day and age, maybe 100 years from now, maybe 200 years from now, if somebody come and invade this country. But in this time period, while we here, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because we're not structured that way. We're not structured enough to fight against the system on that level. We're not structured. But get back to what I was saying, though. So yes, I mean, when you see things like this, when you have lack of resources in your community, it creates people to do these type of things. So people see benefits in having charities and running a religious group, okay, or having a cult-like group because they see their opportunity of getting paid. So it sounds like to me that this sister or this woman did not come from money. She did not come from a family that was built off of wealth. And this is how she created her wealth, by creating a charity organization. And someone asked me, let me go back and find that question. Because somebody asked me about solutions. Let me see. Is she on here? Queen Cheetah? I think. Okay. So she asked, what is your solution? Well, let me tell you what the solution is. The solution is not to fall into a trap. That's a solution. Be careful falling into a trap. Be careful who you donate your money to. That's the solution. Do your research. That's the solution. Ask questions. That's the solution. But don't just fall into a trap because it sounds good. Do your diligent research and see what are their true intentions. Now, if they have good intentions, then you support them. But if their intention is only to just profit and nothing else and to make themselves wealthy and not really benefit the community, then don't support them. And that's the solution. That's my solution right there. Okay. So let's see what else. Y'all going in on the chat. Good God Almighty, I can't even keep up. Hold on. Shit, y'all going in on the chat. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see, cause no, it's not like saying black on black. See, no, it's not, Julanda. It is not saying black on black crime. No, it's not. No, it's not. Come on now. No, it's not. Okay, are we not sub-Saharan Africans? I mean, where's your argument? Are we not a descendant of sub-Saharan Africans? Yes or no? What that got to do with anything? What that made no sense right there. It's like saying sub-Saharan African. That made no sense. What's your argument right there? That argument right there is vague. That argument is vague. That makes no sense. That has nothing to do with the subject at hand. You see, you threw that out there. That has nothing to do with the subject at hand. What is saying like sub-Saharan African got to do with the subject, the topic? Okay, but no, it don't. That has nothing to do with it. That is not the. How is that an argument? How is that an argument about black capitalism? Sub-Saharan African is now an argument about black capitalism. That has nothing to do with it. That's a whole nother subject, which has nothing to do with the subject about capitalism or what this woman is doing. Why is there a label of black capitalism? So what you saying? I mean, I can agree. Okay, I agree with that. It shouldn't be a label called black capitalism, right? But I'm using this. Okay, I'm using this in relation to the title. So the question becomes. So the point that I was getting at with my title is: does Black Lives Matter or is it black capitalism? And I was referring to the case of this sister. What is it really about Black Lives Matter, or is it about profiting off of black victims who have been murdered by police? What is it about? Is it about the lives of the black victims, or is it about capitalizing off the lives of those black victims that have been murdered by police or been dealing with racial injustice? What is it really about? That's the question. Okay? That's the question. That's the reason why I put it up there like that. That's the reason why I put it up there like that. All right? Okay, then, well, you know what? I'm glad that y'all said that. Come on over here. I want y'all to come up here. Maybe y'all can clear some things up. All right, so I'm going to put the link in the chat because Queen Cheetah and Julanda wants to come on here. All right, well. Okay, so I put the link in the chat. Let me see. Can I put it in the private chat? Hold on. I put the link in the chat. So maybe you guys, maybe I can put it in the private chat as well. All right. Let me see. Let me see something. All right, so I'm gonna have to read some comments from my cell phone because for some reason it don't show. Some of these comments don't show up on YouTube for whatever reason. So Julanda put, we don't give a fuck about what white people do, but you brought it up. So I mean, you brought it up. I don't. You brought that up. Okay. I guess that's all the comments on here. So, all right. So yeah, I put the link in the chat. Let's see, Sister Julanda coming through. What's up?
Habibi Fahodie. Peace, sis.
Hey, can't you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. I can hear you now. What's up?
Is it a
You
delay?
there? Nah, I just couldn't hear you because my sound over here. So that's all. But I can hear you now. What's up? Hey, how you doing?
Peace. I'm good. So I wanted to come clarify my position, if I may,
Okay.
because I made the
Okay.
post here concerning the articles of Black Lives Matter. So here's my position. In no way am I saying we do not hold those accountable for mishandling on a subject such as Black men and police brutality. Like, of course, with the onset of the popularity and the white guilt money, because that's what it was, um, I just think like in the beginning that group was just unorganized. So, but I also think that maybe they were ill-formed and ill-advised by many different peoples. Like this organization did not get the fire under their ass by themselves. They had big corporate payouts and other things like that. So, and was always in front of the camera. So I think we got to slow it down and really think about it as if they were played and staged also. Um, and come on now. We know damn well that there were others who probably advised them to do certain things or practices because that's what they've been known to do. And I mean charities. If we don't understand, charities are big business. That's what it is. That's what it's been in this society, in this capitalist society. That's what it is. But on the same note that it is big business, I work nonprofits. I see a lot of nonprofits and a lot of charities that don't have the big backing. The participants or people who are keeping them going struggle when the doors are closed. They're barely eating. So my position was like, why are we gonna be mad at her? Like I'm being petty because if we're gonna vet her and do all that, what they did about her taxes and account, then let's go ahead and pick out the Red Cross and what's these other organizations, the Clinton Foundation. And no, I'm not making a comparison of white people do it, we can do it. That is not what the hell I'm saying. And if anybody would like to like infer that's what I mean, then y'all the jackasses. Because if anybody knows me, knows damn well that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is be careful who we're crucifying in public. Like they didn't learn or start this practice on their own, is what I'm saying. There are other people culpable, but since they do have burnt, black, dark faces, now we finna crucify them because maybe they did mishandle, maybe they didn't take in consideration or dot every I and cross every T. That's all. That's my position. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, hold on. Now, So you're saying that nobody ever gave criticism, and I'm waiting for Queen Cheetah to come on here if she wants to come on. So you're saying nobody ever gave criticism about the Red Cross? Do you know people have been talking about the Red Cross for years?
They
I
have.
mean,
They have. Talking about
there's
it.
been a lot of criticism. There's a lot of question about the Red Cross. Even these little commercials that you see where they got the animals that's in endangerment environment, or the people that's come from the state of poverty in other countries, and they say if you want to donate $1, $5 a day, $2 or whatever, to help this individual, to give some food for this person, or to get these animals off the street and put them in the shelter. You know the commercials that I'm talking about. Those, yeah, they get criticized too. But
Yes.
it's like,
Did they get vetted like that organization just got vet? No, I've never seen that. And I keep up with that. The American Cancer Society, the same way. I never seen it with the Clinton administration. Yeah, people talking about it, but ain't nobody talking about it now. And those organizations still exist, still collecting money. And those, what is it, CEOs or whatever, are still collecting those checks, period.
okay, so I don't know enough about the American Cancer Society, so I can't really say. And Bill Clinton, he done got a lot of backlashes. I mean, especially about that crime bill in 1994. I mean, he been getting a lot of backlashes for a long time. So a lot of people been talking about this. So I'm trying to understand what
talking about it, but nobody's vetting it, and nothing's coming to fruition about it. But here we are, gonna take this organization. We're gonna crucify this lady. Watch, because everybody is posting this post crucifying her ass, and everybody coming at me thinking I'm being irresponsible. No, I want people to think about it. Every time it comes to us, we want to be super critical and look at the shit differently. Like, nah, bitch, this is the field.
Wait, okay, so we're not supposed to. Okay, so
we
hold on,
finish my point. Let me finish my point. The stage was already set. Don't be mad at the players for playing the game how it was created. That's what I mean. Don't be mad. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to inquire on how it was set up. Again, Black Lives Matter didn't start off on his own. I think Soros was a big sponsor and some of these others high-rate billionaires. So if you think to God that they were not in any way advised to do certain things, you're thinking wrong. But now that the organization has fell apart because it tried to combine two different agendas in one, and people who are really about that Pan-Africanism and Black Lives Matter not wanting it to be intertwined and soiled with LGBT rights, that's when you get this separation and confusion. That's when people like her stepped away. I know this personally because I know a lady who started the organization in Tampa, and she's Big Willie. I went with her to Tallahassee to do juvenile justice and criminal justice reform and other things. Like, she's Big Willie. She stepped away because of those things. Not that she does not support LGBT rights, but a lot of us would love to keep those things separate because they're different. So this is what I mean. There are lots of variables in this case. So we just like pulling these articles and going with the articles saying attacking it. What I'm saying, do they have a breakdown of any of the contributions that Black Lives Matter did make? Like, can we make that comparison? You get what I'm saying?
Okay, well, you tell me what they made. Well, what type of contribution have they made?
No. You did the show. I didn't do any research. I'm asking, since the article is placing all the money that was mishandled, can we see records of accounts where they did do some donating? Like, I want to see that. How much of that was donated? Because they did. They wouldn't have went so long if they weren't doing something. They built things, like, I mean, they had big production sets and protests and shit like that. So.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Why did the mother of Tamir Rice called out Black Lives Matter organization and Tamika Mowry? Why did she call them out? Why did she come out for the Counter-Revolutionary Act?
I wouldn't know that, Tiffany, but I can attest that because of the breakdown in structure or lack of thereof of infrastructure of Black Lives Matters, and it being one thing in one state, one city, and a whole thing in another state, and another city, it was lots of confusion. I can't answer you that question. Maybe Tamir mama didn't get the check she thought she should deserve. I think she deserved a check. You feel me? What I do know, because I was very close to the Trayvon Martin situation, I was in school with Ben Crump. Kind of know how to operate. It's like some of that stuff leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't want to say anything about the family, but you don't hear them people complaining. So something transpired. And if that's the case, then it should have been fairly done. You feel me? So I don't know particularly. Maybe she didn't get treated the way she should have and the way we think she should have. I mean, I can't tell you that. But what I do know is that there are different levels, different parts of it, and it was fucked up from the get. But again, let's be careful how we crucifying our own in front of people and vilifying their actions. Get what I'm saying? Because
Right, I get what you're saying. It's not about crucifying, but
it
we
is.
gotta call out. No, it's not about crucifying though. It's not about crucifying.
Talking about you the fourth person I've had a discussion with today because everybody going ham about my little post. But I'm saying it's becoming that as I see it, and nobody is seeing the other side or even trying to catch my point. They just think I'm trying to make excuses for this lady, and I'm like, nah. I just think there's a lot more to it than that fucking article. And I
just sat here and said, if you heard me, I said that, you know, she came from a background where she didn't have generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, like, charity organization and religious group is an opportunity for many of us to get into, because we get a lot of tax break. And because we get a lot of tax break from these different organizations, right, that's a way for us to make more money. So what I was basically saying is giving an analysis that she saw this as an opportunity for her to make more money, to build up a generational wealth, like you mentioned earlier. That's what she saw it as. So it was more of a business for her than it's about the Black Lives Matter in itself. And I mean, just looking at it from that standpoint, that's what it really is. It's more about business. Can we agree on that? Jolanda, are you still there?
Charities are big business. I've mentioned that several times. Okay. Nonprofits are business. I mentioned that. Like, we know this, and they should be. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. So it's not the business, it's how you conduct the business.
Okay, all I'm saying is we just got to be careful who we give our money to or who we donate to, because the question becomes, what is your true intention? What is your main purpose? Is your first purpose is to make money and to just pocket the money and take care of your personal needs and do what you got to do before you help take care of the community? Or is it the community and then your personal needs? I mean, where's your main purpose? Where's your main agenda here?
Let me say
that's what we got to look at. All I'm saying is we got to be careful.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? Because we see this happen too many times with us. You know what I'm saying? You see Tariq Nasheed, you see Umar Johnson, you see all the rest of them doing this kind of stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Let me respond to that real quick. So it's like a double-edged sword with Black people, especially in the community. Because damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if a mofo die poor with no headstone, some of our great elders, you know, then not having money is the root of all evil. And now we on this, having money is the root of all evil. So it's like, let me finish. It's like, what do you pick? We're going to judge it either way. We're going to judge either way we fucked up, we die broke. We're going to judge either way we fucked up and we got some dividends out of it. Like, I'm just saying, like, for me personally, working in nonprofits, charities, and things like that, I've seen the struggle of those who try to be honorable about it and not take anything, which is stupid. Like, make your living. You have to eat. Yes, take care of you so you can take care of your community. There has to be a balance.
I'm not arguing against that. I'm not arguing against that at all. You got to take care of yourself. But if I'm supporting you and what you're doing in your organization, I need to know, well, what is your intentions? Because if your intention is just to make money and you ain't doing not a doggone thing for the community, and you just pocketing the money and you selling people a dream, then that's where the problem comes in at. You know what I'm saying? But if you're doing legitimate stuff, then yes, of course, the people should support you because of your hard work and your dedication. I'm not taking away from that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, and then to get back to the point, and then I want to give Queen Cheetah an opportunity to speak. But to get back to the point that I was making earlier, right? The capitalist system that we're living in is not going to change anytime soon. I don't see us getting up out of capitalism anytime soon. Because at the end of the day, no matter what our philosophy is, whether we agree with the concept of socialism, whether we agree with the concept of social democratic socialism or democratic socialism, communism, whatever we may believe in, we still going to operate as capitalists because of the economic system. And we have to play by their game and by their rules, okay? You know what I'm saying? So now we can take some of the principles that we may believe in, but at the end, we still going to operate under capitalism. And capitalism is not just conduce to United States. It's also a global thing. You know what I mean? So the point is we have to just be honest with ourselves that there is the concept of what they call black capitalism that exists within our community. And like you said, I do agree that it's not the fact that you get money, it's how you go about getting money and what you do with it. So yes, I agree with that. Okay. And I'm not taking away the fact that nonprofit is not a business or whatnot. What I'm saying is for our people, because we don't come from generational wealth, we see this as an opportunity to make money. We see this as an opportunity to generate more profit because we don't have the resources that we need in our own neighborhood. And so that's what I'm looking at when I'm reading the article. That's what I'm saying. Okay, she sees this as an opportunity for her to generate wealth and become profitable. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Queen Cheetah. Hey, Queen Cheetah, how you doing? Queen Cheetah.
Hi, peace and love, everybody.
Peace, peace. How you doing?
Um, I'm good. How are you? Thank you for asking. Um, so I didn't, okay. So I didn't read the article and I can't really speak all
I put it in the
about
chat.
Black Lives Matter because I don't keep up with it like that, right? But I will say to some points that you have mentioned. And forgive me because I kind of just lost my whole train of thought. Um, if I'm not mistaken, there's actually two different Black Lives Matter websites. And I was trying to find the info while you and Juju was talking, but I ain't found it yet. But if you give me a minute, I might be able to. Um, so I wanted to say first, I agree with you to a certain degree that yes, we do obviously need to vet these organizations, that we need to do our due diligence as far as research and all of that. But what I will say is that, especially right now, with all of what's going on and, you know, that shooting that just happened, mind you, I do live in Buffalo, so that like literally was the store that I shop at like frequently. So I don't think that we should be publicly scrutinizing one another right now. Do I agree with you as far as vetting our organizations? Yes, of course, definitely. I will say, and then again, I did say, and I will say again, I don't know everything about Black Lives Matter. But what I will say is that if we look back at the date of when they started, 2013, and anybody that knows me knows my position on where I stand as far as our people. So we look back at 2013, and here it is, 2022. And I'm not going to just say Black Lives Matter organization. I am addressing all of the Black organizations when I say this. Now, um, how much does Black lives really matter to Black people? And if you don't believe what I'm about to say, I've said this, I don't know, countless of times. I've even made the post several times. You can probably go back on my page and find it. Black people seem to have an uproar out of convenience. If we look at it, let's look at the George Floyd for an example. That was like the last, outside of just what happened on Saturday. I want to say, like my memory stirs me correctly, that was like the last biggest uproar, as far as like, that we've had as far as one of our people getting shot, right? Now, remember, it was people protesting all over the country, all of it, the whole shebang bang, right? I specifically said on a post, y'all all in the uproar right now, but I mark my words, in a couple of months, all will be for fucking gotten. Why? Because they know how to distract Black people. So what happened? Mark my words. I waited. I specifically waited. I made sure I didn't even really post on Facebook so that I could go back and find the post. And I waited months. And I went back and found the post and said, where is the same uproar? Where is all of that protesting? Where is all of that same upcry and this and that and the third and the carrying on? It got really quiet because they know how to distract us. Same thing. It's going to be a repetitive thing. So, in regards to that, we can't just scrutinize Black Lives Matter, because if if indeed they are mishandling their funds, this is not the first time that this has happened, and they're not the only one to be doing it currently. Look at the NAACP. If we're going to ask what Black Lives Matter has done for Black people, we need to ask the NAACP what they've been doing for us. And they've been in organization and been founded way longer than Black Lives Matter.
We need to ask them HBCUs that keep going
So
problems.
exactly. We need to ask all of these Black organizations. But what I will say is, I don't think that, and it's a catch-22, because you I don't want to say you don't want to publicly scrutinize or vet them, but where else would you do it, or how else would it be brought to people's attention if it wasn't done that way? Obviously, right? I guess what I'm saying is that we are not united as a collective on a whole in the position to really be scrutinizing these organizations. Now, follow me when I say this. I say that because we, like, on a lower level, right? Like, let's come down a couple of levels and not even talk about, these higher organizations, but just maybe on a local level and, individually, as far as communities goes, right? We not even united on that small of a micro level to where that's us scrutinizing these bigger organizations is at, like, the top of our priority list. You follow what I'm trying to say? Our priority list should be, how is it that we can at least come together on that smaller level, to where, okay, maybe I'll just use a hypothetical situation. Say me, you, and Juju start our own organization like Black Lives Matter. You get what I'm saying? And we really legitimately are allocating those funds, properly, and doing all of that, whatever we trying to, really legitimately, like, out there putting the footwork in and all of that, right? And then we come and say, well, you know what? Black Lives Matter has been established since X, Y, and Z, and we got to make sure we have our facts straight. Because again, I don't know. I have not seen the reports of what they have allocated, what they haven't allocated. You know what I mean? So I don't want to speak on something that I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, Queen Cheetah, Lion Times baby got a question for you. He asked, why do many Black people join Black Lives Matter instead of UNIA? Is it because of the cameras? What would be your response to that? Then I'm gonna let Sister Julanda answer that as well. What's your response?
I don't. Well, for one, I can't say why. I can only give what my opinion or what my speculation would be. For one, a lot of people don't know about the UNIA. That's number one. A lot of people don't know that they might even have a division in their, local city or wherever they are. Um, and then you can't compare the UNIA to the Black Lives Matter because the UNIA is the government. The Black Lives Matter is an organization. Okay. I see you looking at me like that, and
Okay, yeah, because I gotta ask you. So,
let me
so
tell
how is the
you, hold
UNI?
up, because
How is
let
the
me tell
UNIA
you,
a government though?
let me tell you, honey, and I will encourage you to go to our YouTube channel because we have videos on all of these things that every opposing position that people have about the UNIA and Gary, we have addressed all of them, and I will put that in the chat for you. But the 5 things that make a government we have, and also the UN has already recognized the UNIA as a government. So once you are recognized by another government as a government, and Tiffany, I would suggest you encourage you to really do your research before you do your eyebrows like that, sis.
I'm
You're
looking because
already
I
like a
want to know. I
government.
gotta see the proof
So
behind
and
this.
I'm gonna give you the proof. I told you go to 433. You could do it while I'm talking right now. Pull up my YouTube channel, 433 TV,
Okay,
433,
let
and
me
then
look up your channel right now.
make
Hold on.
sure you put the TV like literally right next to 433, because if you space it out, another channel will pop up and that's not us. But you'll know it's us because you'll see the red, black, and green. So the 5 things that make a government, we have the Declaration of Negro Rights of Negro People. We have the red, black, and green flag. We have the anthem, and we have the pledge. And what else? I'm missing one other thing. What else did I say? I said the flag, declaration, the anthem. Oh my gosh, I'm missing it. Hold on one second. This is why y'all shouldn't smoke weed all the time. Um, what did I say? Flag, declaration. Go on my YouTube channel and pull it up for me, because I'm missing one other thing that makes us to be a government, and why we are recognized as a government. And not
So, okay,
only are we
what's your YouTube
recognized.
channel again? I'm sorry. What's your YouTube channel?
Say again, you cut. My phone is cutting out.
I said, what's your YouTube channel again?
433, like the numbers, 433,
Uh
just
huh.
TV, and then just type TV.
433 Just TV.
No, just 443, 433 TV, 433 TV. Can I type in this chat in here?
Yeah, you can type it in the chat.
And as a matter of fact, let me see. I'm gonna
All
mute
right,
real
hold
quick
on.
because
Let me.
I don't want it to be an echo. Hold on one second.
All right.
Oh fuck.
Okay, I see the channel. I see it.
All right, now pull it up for me because I can't see, and I'm on my phone. Fuck, I don't even know how to get back to the goddamn. Oh, here we go.
Okay, then. Okay, I see your channel. All right. So I'm gonna
All
pull
right,
up your channel so everybody can see it. If
can I see?
hold on. Let me pull it up.
I don't know how to. Am I gonna? Do I gotta go on the YouTube to see it, or can I see it
Hold
on
on.
here?
Ooh.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay. All right. So this.
Now
All
go
right.
down
So
to
guys.
videos, cause go to videos.
Okay. To the videos. Okay. What about the videos?
Mm-hmm. Go on. Keep
Okay. So
scrolling,
this your video
sis.
right here.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
That's our president of our division. But go to videos and go.
Okay. So. All right. So. Where you want me to stop? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It's just a lag in it, so I'm just waiting. All right. Wait. You went too far down. Here, I'll find it and I'll put it in the chat because the lag is
Okay.
aggravating me. Hold on.
Okay then. All right. So as you guys, if y'all want to check out the YouTube channel, it's 433 TV. So I'll check out the channel, and see what you guys have. But let me give Sister Julanda an opportunity to answer the question. So Sister Julanda, you want to answer the question that the brother was asking, or the sister? I'm not sure which one it is. Julanda, are you there?
Mm.
Hello. All right, Sister Julanda, are you there? Okay, my mistake, lying. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure. Are you there? You want to answer the question, Sister Jolanda? Okay, I don't know where she at. So, all right, but yeah, all right. So yeah, if you guys want to check out her channel, it's 433 TV. All right. So anything else you wanted to say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was trying to see if Sister Jolanda wanted to ask the question that the brother was asking. Queen Cheetah, are you there? Hmm. Can anybody
I'm
hear me?
steady. I can hear you fine.
Okay, then cool. Yeah, anything else you want to say? I was trying to get us the Jelanda on here, but I'll let you go ahead and finish.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, okay. Okay, so she left. I don't know what just happened. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. I don't know what just happened. Sister Jelanda, are you there? Okay. So, yeah, anything else you wanted to say?
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I was saying something. You just was talking, and I guess my mic wasn't working.
Yeah, I
Um.
was trying to see if Sister Juju wanted to answer the brother's question that he was asking. And I can't get her on here, so um, I'm just gonna go ahead and let
Uh.
you finish up.
And every time I keep losing my train of thought, y'all. Y'all gotta work with me here.
Yeah, you were
Um.
saying something about your channel, and then you were saying something
So
about
no,
the
everything was on.
UN recognized it as a
Everything is
government.
on there. Yep, everything is on there. Literally everything. We have addressed it several times. What I'm saying is because everybody be like, oh, well, what do the UNIA do? The UNIA don't do this. The UNIA don't do that, or don't nobody know about it. We got a farm right there in Liberia. UNIA farms right now. The president general just came from over there a couple of months ago. We got a Liberty Farm that we literally are giving back to the community over there. They're trying to get a division set up over there. There's divisions all over. I mean, it might not be one in all 50 states, but they're in the majority of them. There's two in New York City. There's one in Buffalo. There's one in Maryland. There's one in Detroit. There's one in Atlanta. There's one in Texas. And those is just off the top of my head that I can name for you. So there's a HEC, High Executive Council convention every year. There's different conventions that the UNIA puts on amongst each other, as far as divisions go. Now, Black people have to realize too, and this is what I've come to realize with Black folks. We love always, pointing out the finger of what this person is doing or that person is doing. And that's why I always make it my business to always say we, because it should never be an individualized ideal. It should be a collective thing. And that's the problem with most Black folks. It's always an individual thing. And that's what has gotten us nowhere. Um, as far as being a collective, that's the last thing on the list that nobody's tried. Now, as far as the UNIA goes, Why couldn't there be a government? Why couldn't you recognize the UNIA as a government? Isn't there a nation within a nation? I mean, look at the Indians. That's a nation within a nation. So it can definitely be done. Um, the problem is, especially nowadays and where we are, it's 2022, it ain't really no different from 1920 when Marcus Garvey um, was alive. It's always a couple of few that single-handedly can be the destruction of something great. W.E.B. Du Bois and the whole rubber Firestone company. I mean, do y'all know about that?
Well, tell us about it. Tell us about the Firestone Company.
So, what happened back in the 1900s when Garvey sent over two of his delegates over to Africa? They had the whole deal set up for rubber. He realized that this was just when they started, automobiles started being made, and he realized rubber was going to be a hit and that niggas was going to need rubber to make tires, right? So he had sent two of his delegates over there, set up the deal. W.E.B. Du Bois worked for the MID. He was working with the white people, working with the FBI, all of them. He had them shut down to where they was, matter of fact, banned from going over there. Couldn't go over there. Couldn't shut the deal down. Couldn't make the deal happen. They shut the deal down, and that's when the white man came in, the Firestone, and that's how Firestone came about. So had Firestone not came about, had W.E.B. Du Bois not sabotaged that deal, had we met and had we followed through with that fucking deal, that would have put black people on as an entire race. When you ask us how do black people gain from capitalism, that's how black people would have gained as a whole collective. But because why? W.E.B. Du Bois sabotaged that set us back. Same thing with Colin Kaepernick. People don't look at the NFL and see how black people are capitalizing off of that just as much as white people are. But nobody's talking about that. And y'all watching Sunday football every week.
I mean, but I clearly said that we all fall under capitalism. I clearly say that we all
No, but see, no, don't say we all, because
I
see
mean,
now
if
for
it's
me,
true, okay,
but
let me say
no, for
this.
me, no.
In
See,
reality, you
and
are a black capitalist.
I'm not a black capitalist. No, I'm not. Because you know why? For one, whatever I do for my people, I do. See, now you ask what the UNIA does. Let me tell you what we've done in our division. We had the Path of the Panther breakfast that we put on, free breakfast for the community every last Saturday of the month, meaning that we came out of our pockets. Me and my cousins came out of our pocket, on top of having to feed our own families. We didn't get food stamps. We don't get no type of government assistance. We coming out our own pocket to feed this community, feeding them healthy food. So we ain't just feeding them little fake shit. We getting vegetables, spinach, eggs, turkey bacon for the people that want to eat bacon, instead of giving them pork and beef. We did that for a whole entire year. We tried to get the YMCA to get in with us, since they're a nonprofit organization, and they could get more funds from the government, and we wanted to be able to do it more than just the last Saturday of the month. We was trying to get it to where it could be at least every Saturday, to where eventually it could become to the point where it could be every day, because if you look at it like with these children's, and they not getting but the little meals that they get in school, because when they go home, unfortunately, maybe they, whatever their home situation, some families can't afford to maybe feed their kids. I don't know. But that was just one thing that we've done. We put on the Locks and Furls event, free convention. Literally everything that we do is free and family oriented and kid friendly. So it's in for everybody. So it ain't, oh, well, I don't have a babysitter. No, come bring the babies. Free food. We giving out giveaways, backpacks. When COVID happened, what did we do? We went out and bought shit to make care packages so that elders can have the shit that they needed. We didn't ask for a dollar from nobody. We was coming out of our pockets when we wasn't even working. So I don't like when people come to me and ask me what we do, because it's a lot that I do and I don't ask for shit in return, but for motherfuckers to come together and appreciate that shit. That's it. That's all that I ask for. I don't even write that shit off on my taxes as I should. So don't tell me that I'm a black capitalist, because I'm not getting
Okay, hold on, hold
anything
on,
out
hold
of
on,
it.
hold on, hold on. Come on, hold on, hold on. Relax, relax. I'm not trying to disrespect you or nothing, but what I'm saying is because we're under the system of capitalism, right? We will fall under that, and it's not saying that you're trying to be, but at the end of the day, if we're trying to make money, right, and we're trying to get paid, we the system that we live by, okay, we gonna follow the model of capitalism. I mean, yes, although we may not agree with the concept of capitalism, I think people misunderstanding what I'm saying here. Although we may not agree with the concept of capitalism, right? We might agree with the concept of socialism or whatever ideology that we into. But because we live under the economic system, right? We cannot practice those ideology that we believe in totality in a system like this. So we're going to follow under the concept of capitalism. It's not saying that you're going around here and taking people's money and just pocketing the money, but no. However, if we're going to make money, right, we're going to do it in the capitalist way. That's all I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was trying to get at.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not
Well, I just want to set the record straight, because you was kind of collectively putting, and then you put me in that, and I had to make sure that for me specifically. Now, do I speak as a collective for us? Yes, but when you put me as saying that I'm a black capitalist, because you did say that I was a black capitalist, I had to set the record straight, because I'm not. I'm far from it. I don't capitalize on anything. So what I'm saying is, though.
Okay, I shouldn't even say black capitalist. I should have just said capitalism.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I admit that.
And my thing is also too, because now you saying that we don't have the resources and in these type of things, and I'm a firm believer that we should take accountability. When do black people start taking accountability? Because now
I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm glad that you brought that up. Are you still there? Is she? I don't know. I guess.
can you still hear me?
Yeah, you was going in and out. I don't know
Oh,
what you were saying. So go back, repeat everything you were saying.
so now, to a certain degree, there needs to be some accountability taken here by black folks. In 2022, I get the whole history of everything, but there are, as far as resources, we do have resources available to us. Are we utilizing those resources? Are we actually going to seek out those resources? Is the question. Because we're not back in the segregation days, in the slavery days, where we didn't have rights. Do we have to maybe work a little harder? Maybe do we got to jump through a few different hoops than our counterparts? Maybe, but the resources there. If y'all can keep up with the Yeezys and the Jordans and the Kardashians and all of whatever else is going on, then you can keep up with financial literacy then. Because if you are going to go seek out businesses of others that ain't got shit to do with you and don't benefit you in any type of way, then you can go seek out the same knowledge to benefit you some way, somehow. Especially now in this day and age where we done had COVID, motherfuckers have started businesses during the actual COVID, after COVID. So I don't necessarily like to hear that, because yes, we do have the resources. We're just maybe not seeking them out. and maybe you just don't know. Um, I don't know what type of people or circle you got around you, but it's got to be a point where we take accountability and say, you know what? Okay, our past generations have done this and we're successful at this and we're not successful at that. And we need to learn from them, from the unsuccessful attempts, and learn how we can move forward to be successful. Um, I don't never hear nobody talking about getting life insurance policies. I've actually talking about being black capitalist. I actually went out to get my life insurance license to sell life insurance black to black people specifically. Like my main focus, I didn't give a fuck about selling to white people. I promise you, when I used to go sit down with them, I promise I used to just run through that shit. If they didn't want to buy it, it was like, okay, see you later. The black folks, I actually would try to push, if they was, pushing back on it. Like even if they didn't want to get it for themselves, you know how many kid policies I sold? Because that's how important it is to me. So, you know, just right there will create your generational wealth. If fuck, because obviously, and I'm telling you as a person, and I wish I fucking can get some life insurance as an adult. I can't get it. Is with all of the health issues that I have. But do my daughter got it? You goddamn Skippy. She's on my cousin's policy. She got her own policy. I'm trying to get her on other people's policy. It sounds crazy, but I want her to be able to have these things. I put her on as an authorized user on all of my credit cards. So she has a credit card for each credit card that I have. So, and I pay off all of my credit cards, whatever the balance whatever I spend, I pay off. I look at it as I borrow from myself. So they're not getting me with the interest. You see what I'm saying? So I am taking these steps to try to build this wealth for my daughter, to leave this legacy for her. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning as I go. But whatever I do learn, I try to give to my people and pass to my people. And so if we gonna want to see the change, we have to be that change. We can't sit here and scrutinize these folks. You know what I'm saying? No, excuse me. Let me take that back. We should scrutinize them. Let me say that. But I don't think that we should do it like on a public platform like this, especially right now with what's all going on in the world. I don't think we at a point where we should be scrutinizing the Black Lives Matter, because all I'm gonna say is this: as far as them, that specific organization, if by 2022, and as again I will say, I don't know all of what they have done and done not have done and what they don't do. But if we don't know by 2022 by now that most of these organizations really ain't for us like that, then I mean, come on now. Uh, it, it's like I mean, it's a sad shame to say, but that's just the truth. Is any of these really big black organizations for us really? Are they?
Nah, not always. Not always. Not always. Not
So I
always.
mean, what we can do is just take for what they have done for us and take it and just keep it moving. I think that we as black people hold our breath, or or we we hold these organizations up to such a high pedestal and put our liberation in the hands of these organizations as if they would be the ones to liberate us as a whole, when that's far beyond the case. Um, the only thing that's going to liberate us is if we collectively start this off on, like, in our communities, you know what I'm saying? in my community, in your community, in Juju community. You see what I'm saying? And then we get it to that way because if we if we look at it and we look at history, I'll even give you the shooting that just happened in Buffalo, right?
Mm.
So they Tops is that was the supermarket that it happened at, right? They giving out like free food and stuff like that or whatever, right? And I got into an argument because I was like, well, here they starting to do here's the distractions starting to come. Here they about to start hitting y'all with the okey doke to shut y'all up. So don't be fooled. Pay attention. And so one person was like, oh, well, maybe they just want to help to give out for those people that's being impacted by the store being closed. I get that, which they could be. Cool, right? But first of all, Tops, that's the only blackest Tops in Buffalo. Like there's a couple of other ones around, like there's one downtown, but it's predominantly Hispanic and then the other ones is predominantly white. So, but mind you, all of the Tops is owned by white people. Okay. Even though that was in the hood, it's owned by white folks. They ain't gave a fuck about us any other time before. But okay, that's nice that they gave us free food and shit. But this is what I'm saying. They talk about they got the store closed right now because they're investigating. But what the fuck is there to investigate when this man went live on his Twitch account and I don't know, some other social media account that he went live on? And he had a manifesto. He told y'all what the fuck it was that he was doing, why he did it, and all of that above. What are you investigating for? What is inside that you need to investigate? You see what I'm saying? But okay, we'll leave it at that. I'll put a pin in that one and come back. Okay. So they don't have a date on when the store will be back open. Now, I ain't been following all of it, but I heard that they said they called the cops at 2:30 and the cops was there at 2:31. Now I can't say for sure if that's true or not, but let's just say if it is. When I tell you Buffalo police in that specific area, because this is the hood that we're talking about, ain't never, ever in the history of niggerdom ain't ever been that fast in response to anything in the hood, ever. So if that is indeed the case, that to me has me questioning a lot of things because how is it that they make the call at 2:30 and then 2:31 the police is there? I don't know how true that is. But we see that they gonna start like they started an investigation on or they started the investigation in the store and then they saying that they're this is what they said, they're charging the man with one count of first degree murder and possibly other charges may come in the future. Did you hear what I just said? That man, he killed 10 people. One of them
Mm-hmm.
people that he killed, I know. Okay. I knew
Wow.
personally.
Wow.
So, and she was the mother of a friend of mine. And he's like the age of me, same age as me, like 32, real young. So, that man just lost his mom. They ain't told, well, I think they told him now, but she had just came or just came, either just came or just was just about to go see her husband in the nursing home. Was going up there every day to take care of him and feed him, all of that. Had been asking for her. He didn't even know that his wife had died. But the man got one charged with one count when he killed 10. And they said possibly other additional charges may come. So that's not even a guarantee. They said possibly. So when we can't be really in an uproar when we ourselves are not doing what we should supposed to be doing as a race and as a collective. So here it is. This man then told us all of what it was. He drove over 200 miles to come to Buffalo. He was going to go to Rochester first, but didn't, and came to Buffalo. So can we really be, I know I might get, shunned for this, but how mad can we really be when they kill us if we are still going to carry on the way that we have been carrying on time and time and time and time again? So now, you know, all up and down my timeline, all I gotta see is, oh, pray for this, pray for that, and all of this. And I've been real pissed because it fuck praying. You know, we're what's up, baby? What ice cream? The what? What ice cream? I didn't. I love mom bought ice cream. Did mom buy? Yeah, you can have some. Um. So. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's all
So.
good.
Um. you know, can we and this, and I'm not trying to be rude when I say this, but this is how they looking at us. You know what I'm saying? They know that every time they do something to us or something happened to us, that all they got to do is shine a little bit of glitter and gold in front of us, and after all, after but so long, all will be forgotten. And so because that's the norm and that's always what happens, they they feel okay to do that. They feel okay to say, well, here, let's just throw them a couple of free food and a couple of free coupons and throw them a couple of little kibbles and bits and they'll be all right. They'll forget. It ain't going to bother them. You know what I'm saying? So if we going to really, really be like mad, who should we be mad? Who should we be mad at? Them or us? Because at this point in 2022, I'm not going to say it's us, but how, like, do we really have the right to be that mad? Because at Black Lives Matter in 2013, in 2022, we got to ask ourselves, what have they really done? Because if Black Lives really mattered, like the movement, I'm talking about the organization, was really doing some shit, and I know I might get scrutinized for this, but if they was really seriously making that much of an impact, they still would not be killing us dead. We would have never had George Floyd happen. We still won't be out there protesting and doing that type of shit. You feel what I'm saying? Now that's just, and again, I don't know what all of what they have done and what they have not done. But all I'm saying is if if they were to be making because not Black Lives Matter is not just for the white people to quote unquote um recognize us as humans and respect our lives, but it's also should be for Black lives matter to Black people. And when I say that, I mean I'm not talking about Black on Black crime. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying it should be where we are a collective. We are united. It should be where we are race first. We are united. We're not united on any level, whether it be a macro level or a micro level. We're not on either. So we can't be all the way mad because shit, again, it only matters to us when it happens to one of us. We know this. We've heard we've heard people, and I'm sure I don't know if you, I know for a damn sure I've heard mad niggas say, oh well, I'm only worried about me and mine.
I have.
So how can you say if you only worried about you and yours that Black Lives Matter? Because them people, them 10 people that got shot in that Tops, all of them was my people, regardless if I knew them personally or not. That affected me. You know what I'm saying? As it should have to every Black person. You see what I'm saying? And majority of them fucking people were old people.
Yeah.
I have the video of him going in there shooting them people like the actual video. And when I tell you it's something senseless, and then he apologized to that white man. So that's why I'm saying when they talking about they are investigating the store, what the fuck is there to investigate in that goddamn store? You understand what I'm saying? If anything, all you want to do is just collect the gun shell, the shells or whatever casings, but there's nothing to investigate in that store. Y'all got that man in custody. Y'all had his manifesto.
I saw his manifesto, and
So
I mean, it's just very intriguing. Like he wrote all this. I mean, I ain't read every last one of it,
oh
but
no,
I
and
said,
no, listen. He was there the night before he went there. He was not there the night before casing it out. He was there, they said, because they kicked him out and he left. And the one black guy had said that he was like talking to him for like about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And they was talking from everything from racism to critical race theory to white supremacy to everything in between. And I guess he must have been like harassing the customers or whatever in the store. And that's why they had kicked him out. But my thing is, because I don't want to get too long winded and redundant, but we can't. All I'm saying is that when we do scrutinize these black organizations, we must do it strategically because that's all they waiting for. Because if they can't take us down, who do they find to take us down? One of our own. Every single time. Every time. W.E.B. Du Bois admitted that Garvey was right in his own fucking words.
I mean,
He
yeah, and I
admitted
agree. Oh yeah,
that
I agree
Garvey was right. So
because
that
later
goes
on,
to show you how when, you know, and two, who are
and
these
let me
people
just
that's
say this.
writing these
Hold on,
articles that because
before
we
you
have to
say, let me.
hold on, let me finish this thought before I forget. Because when we read in these articles about the Black Lives Matter organization and whether or not, they're allocating the funds correctly or properly, who's the person that's actually writing the article? Are we vetting that person to see what their agenda may be? Because not always is it the right agenda. So, because we can tell and see and look back in history, because look how they did Garvey. Because, I mean, this man had a whole transportation company, factories, like he was employing his own. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it can't, nobody's doing it right now, but whenever you have an organization or a black leader or whatever you want to label it as, and that they're actually doing something for black people and white people see that is about to do anything as far as liberating us, they'll do anything to come in and shut that shit down. So if they can't do it, they'll find a coon ass nigga to do it. And when we have these conversations about, scrutinizing Black Lives Matter and NAACP and et cetera and whomever, all they got to do is just find that one weak link, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Right.
not saying don't scrutinize them because we'll be a goddamn fool if we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But we got
Right.
to be a little bit more strategic on how we maneuver and how we work within these platforms as far as when it comes to the betterment of us. Cause they listening and watching. I don't want to get all into the spooky and the conspiracy theories and all of that shit. I'm not getting into all of that. I'm just saying, eh, they look what they say. Life ain't nothing but chess. They study their opponent. We the only ones that ain't studying our opponent, and that's why we are always where we are. And that's all
Okay.
I got.
Okay. Um, and I pretty much agree with a lot of stuff you saying. Now, there's some few things I disagree with you on, but that's cool. And I want to piggyback on two things that you said. Now, the one that you said about W.E.B. Du Bois, when later on in the life that he started to look back on Garvey and he realized that Garvey was right. You correct. He did, because as a matter of fact, he started to change his position later on. He started to leave the NAACP, right, and then later on he started to get into communism. He became an atheist. A lot of people don't know that he became an atheist later in life, and he started getting into communism, right, and he started studying more about Pan-Africanism too. You know what I'm saying? Going to the Pan-African Conference, organizing it and all of that. And so then he was in the communist movement for a short while, just for a little bit, not for very long. Then he left and went to Ghana. And when he went to Ghana, that's where he died. So yes, I agree with you on that. You're right. He did. He eventually started going back and studying things and started seeing things what Garvey was trying to get at. Also, you saying that now, as far as the resources is concerned in our community, now I'm gonna ask you this, okay? When I say, because this is where I say when I say we don't really have that much resource in our community, do we own the means of production? Yes or no? Do we have means of production in our community? Are you there? I don't know if she there. Hmm. I don't know if she there. Queen Cheetah, are you there? Are you there? No? Okay, I think I lost her. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I think I lost her. But anyways, Sister Jolanda, are you still there? Are you still taking care of business? Are you there? I don't think Sister Jolanda there either. But anyways, um, let me just hold on. Okay. So yeah, to get back to what I was saying, the point I was trying to make is when she said that we need to be held accountable for some of the resources, for the resources that we don't have in our community. I get it. Yeah, we do need to take some accountability. But here's the thing. When I say that we don't have that much resource or we lack resources, we don't own means of production. We do not own the means of production in our community. So what does that mean? That means we don't have our own manufacturing companies. We don't have a lot of big corporation businesses in our neighborhood that's owned by us. We don't have a lot of stuff that is made by us as far as like, clothes and shoes and stuff like that. We don't have a lot of that. We really don't. So majority of that you will see in the white community, big corporations, they own manufacturing companies. Now, they may not get their stuff made in the United States. They get it made in other countries. But we don't have those type of things. We don't have that, because if we had our own means of production, that's where most of your wealth come in. See, people think wealth come in because you got money in your pocket. That's not really wealth. Wealth is owning your means of production. And as Black people, we do not own means of production. And therefore, we don't have the wealth. Because that's what really builds up your wealth, is your means of production. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was trying to see if you want to. Yeah, I was trying to get you to answer the question, but what I'm about to do is I'm about to go ahead and log off in a few minutes. But I appreciate you coming on here, because this is a great dialogue. And shout out to Queen Cheetah and shout out to Sister Jolanda. Make sure you check out the channel on Queen Cheetah's channel, which is 433 TV. So shout out to her. That was a beautiful build by both women. I think that it's a great conversation on both ends. Real talk. And let me see. And CK, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could have had you on here. But yeah, I'm gonna get you on the next time. I'm gonna get you on the next time though. Real talk. I'm gonna get you on. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that you bring in a lot of great points. But yes, shout out to Sister Jolanda. Shout out to Queen Cheetah. Make sure y'all check them out on 433 TV. Okay. She yeah, that's her YouTube channel. So yeah, and I'm like I said, I agree with a lot of what the sister is saying. I'm not knocking her. You know what I'm saying? I think there's my disagreement because I said the word capitalist, right? And I think she was misunderstanding what I was saying. Um, but yeah, a lot of stuff she's on point about, and I can't knock that. A lot of stuff Juju is on point about, and I can't knock her for that either. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of it they on point about, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all love and ain't no issue, you know what I'm saying? It ain't no problem. I mean, we agree to disagree, and that's cool, you know what I mean? So, but I really appreciate that. But yeah, to get back at the point, you know, when you don't have means of production in your community, right? You know, you're not going to really generate wealth. If you don't have corporation in your community, you're not really going to generate wealth. All right. So the whole point I was trying to get at for the woman of Black Lives Matter, or the founder of Black Lives Matter, I do get that. Yes, the way we go about vetting people, we should not do it in a manner of antagonism or whatnot, and we should do it differently. However, you know, she's brought into the public, and this ain't the first time that she was brought into the public. You know what I'm saying? This is not the first time that she was antagonized. All right. It's been many reports about Black Lives Matter, and a lot of people that had speculation, even those in the Black community, they done had speculation about them. They had questions about them. And like I mentioned before, Tamir Rice's mother, for example, she was asking questions about, well, where's y'all legitimacy? Where's y'all whole purpose? She asked a question about Tamika Marlery. She asked a question about Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? So that what made me look into a lot of this, because I seen what she was posting up, and I said, okay, well, let me look into this. You know what I mean? So to get back to the argument, case in point, before I close it out, right? So in this case, where do I stand? Is it really about Black Lives Matter, or is it about Black capitalism? And as I stated before, in this woman's case, it's more so about Black capitalism. All right, the founders. It's about Black capitalism, and as the sister mentioned, you know, our people that own businesses, do they really care that much about us? Not necessarily. Not all of them really care that much about us. You know what I'm saying? They only doing it because it's for their own benefits, and that's how I feel about the BLM. I feel like this sister is doing it because she see the benefits of making profit versus really like trying to help the community all together. You know what I mean? So that's just how I see it. And as I mentioned before, we all will fall under Black capitalism. I don't agree with capitalism, all right, because of its horrific history, but because of the fact that we live under the system as such, and we follow the system, right? That's what we're gonna go by. You know what I mean? That's what we're going to go by, and that's what we're going to do. And like I mentioned, capitalism is not only reduced to the United States, it's also a global thing. It's also global. So at the end of the day, you're still going to be submitted under capitalism. You're still going to operate as a capitalist, whether you see yourself as being socialist or a democratic social, whatever your idea is, you're still going to operate as a capitalist. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So in truth of the matter, we're still going to operate as capitalists. So no, I don't agree with capitalism. I don't like how capitalism is, because it creates a rat race. It creates more dichotomy for us, and it makes it much harder for us to actually build group economics, to be honest. It does. But that's the system that we live in, and it's the kind of game that we playing under. So we fall into that system, and we living by the system, and we have no, it's like basically you have no choice but to be a capitalist. You have no choice. If you want to start something, and you want to build something for yourself, and you want to build a legacy for your family, or build a generational wealth, you have no choice but to be a capitalist. All right, all right, you guys, I'm about to go ahead and log off. Y'all have a good one. Peace and power.